Good afternoon, children. Are you all ready for the lesson? Today you are going to learn about voice, that is active voice and passive voice, and also how to change the sentences in active voice into passive voice. But before I begin the lesson today, I would like to ask you a riddle. Are you ready to answer? Okay, then listen to me carefully. What is full of holes but holds water? Do you want me to repeat? What is it that has full of holes but holds water? Have you got the answer? Okay, shall I tell you the answer? The answer is sponge. The answer is sponge. Have you all got the answer? Okay, and let us start the lesson. See, before you learn about voice, you should know what tenses are: present tense, past tense, and what is past participle. To know about them, now I shall show you an activity. Look at this. What is this? This is a piece of chalk. Okay. Now I'll break the piece of chalk. Okay, what I did now? I broke the piece of chalk. How is the chalk? The chalk is broken. So that means break. Look at this now. Break, present tense, broke, past tense, and broken, past participle. Okay. So, when something, the action is over, we use past tense. So, that is the past form of break is broke. So, what has happened to the thing? To say that we use past participle, the chalk is broken. Now, look at this. What is this? This is a paper. Okay, now I'll tear the paper. I tear the paper. So, I tore, the work is already over. So, then I am saying I tore the paper. How is the paper now? The paper is torn. The paper is torn. So, what is the present form of it? Look here, it is tear, and the past form of it is tore, and past participle is torn. Would you like to know more about this? A few more examples I will give you. All of you look at this table and repeat after me, word after word. Tear, tore, torn. Break, broke, broken. Paste, pasted, pasted. Choose, chose, chosen. Drink, drank, drunk. Speak, spoke, spoken. Write, present form. Wrote, the past form of write, and written is the past participle form of write. Cut, cut, cut. There are certain words where present, past and past participle have the same spelling and pronunciation, like put, put, put. Okay. Now, I will give you the sentences in present tense. Now, you have understood what is present tense. Okay. So, look at this sentence. Miss Mary teaches English in our school. And another sentence, they sell stamps in post office. Doctors treat patients. So, when you look at the verbs teaches, sell, treat they are in present tense. Okay. Therefore, these sentences are said to be in present tense. Let us analyze each sentence and see what is what in each sentence. Okay. So, you should know what is active voice first of all. So, look at the first sentence here. Miss Mary teaches English in our school. What is the work here? Teaching. And who teaches? Miss Mary. So, Miss Mary is the subject. Okay. So, when the sentence begins with the subject doer, then it is said to be in active voice. Okay. Then which word is the doer here? Miss Mary. So, doer is the subject. And what is the work here? Teaches. So, teaches is verb. And what does she teach? English. So, English is the object. Let us look at the second sentence in present tense. They sell stamps. Selling is the work here. Okay. And they is the doer again. Therefore, the sentence again here began with the doer as the subject. Therefore, it is again in active voice. And what is subject here? They. And sell is a verb. And stamps, what do they sell? Stamps. So, stamps is the object. And in the third sentence, doctors treat patients. Again, the sentence began with the doer, that is doctors. Doctors do the work of treatment. Okay. So, again this sentence is in active voice. Doctors is the doer, therefore, this is the subject. And what is the work here? Treat. Therefore, treat is verb. What do doctors do? What do doctors do? Treat. Treat whom? Patients. So, patients is the object. Okay. Now, let us look at the sentences in past tense. Alexander Fleming invented penicillin. Okay. Again, this sentence also began with the doer, that is Alexander Fleming. Therefore, it is in active voice. Okay. So, here another two examples are given here. My mother bought bangles yesterday. Yesterday, it is already over. Therefore, the word bought is used here. Okay, that is in past tense. K. Vishwanath directed Shankarabharanam. Okay. So, again this is also in past tense. What is the first sentence? Alexander Fleming invented penicillin. The sentence began with the doer Alexander Fleming. Therefore, this is in active voice. Okay. And the doer is the subject. And the work, what is the work here? Inventing. So, invent is the verb. And what did he invent? Penicillin. So, penicillin is the object. In the second sentence, again my mother bought bangles. My mother is the doer of this sentence. So, the sentence began with the doer as the subject, therefore, this is in active voice. So, what is the subject here? My mother. And verb bought. And what is bangles? Object. Okay. So, now children, you have understood what are the sentences in present tense and what are the sentences in past tense. Okay. So, when you look at the verb, you will know whether the sentence is in present tense or the sentence is in past tense. Okay. So, let us try to change each sentence again. When we look at the first sentence, K. Vishwanath directed Shankarabharanam. Subject, verb, object. Okay. So, here you see another word teach, taught, taught. So, here teach is the subject, taught, teaches in present tense, taught is in past tense, and past participle form is also taught. So, look at this sentence, Miss Mary teaches English in our school. This is an active voice. So, how to change it into passive voice? Look at carefully. See, the verb is in present tense. When the verb is in present tense and subject, what is the subject here? English. Subject is singular, then you should use is. Okay. In passive voice, when you change the sentence from active voice to passive voice, the sentence in passive voice begins with the object in active voice, that is English, and the verb here is taught, past participle forms. So, in passive voice we use only past participle form. So, what is the sentence in passive voice? You say English is taught by Miss Mary. Okay, the object here has become the subject in passive voice, and here the subject Miss Mary becomes by Miss Mary, that is by noun phrase. Okay, by noun phrase. So, here you see English is the object and it is the subject in passive voice, and when you look at the verb teaches is in present tense. So, in present tense, if the object is singular, then what is the singular form that is to be used here? Is. Okay. English is taught, past participle form is taught, taught by Miss Mary. Let us look at the second sentence, which has got these words. Okay. Sell, sold, sold. They sell stamps in post office. Sell is in present tense. So, when it is in present tense, which be form should be used in passive voice? If object is singular, is. If object is plural, are. Let us see which one is the object here. They is the subject, sell is verb, and stamps object. So, stamps is in plural form. Therefore, we should use are. Stamps are sold is the past participle form. Stamps are sold by them. See here, look at this, stamps are sold. By them is not used, only the stamps is the object in the active voice, stamps is used here as the subject, because they, it is known already. Stamps are sold by someone, by them, by some people. Therefore, you need not use when it is not needed in the passive voice, when the subject is not needed, when you do not want to say who the doer is, and when you know already who the doer is, or when you do not know who the doer is, then in passive voice you need not use the by noun phrase. So, what is the answer here? Stamps are sold in post office. Okay. Now, look at the third sentence, that is doctors treat patients. Again, treat is in present tense. Now, you can do it very easily. Okay. Let us divide this into subject, verb and object. Which one is the subject here? Doctors, and verb treat, object patients. Okay. Patients is in plural form, therefore, we should use are. Patients are treated, past participle form. Patients are treated by doctors. Okay. Patients are treated by doctors. This is in passive form. Now, children, have you all understood how to change the sentences from active voice to passive voice? The sentences in present tense. Okay. When you change the sentence from active voice to passive voice, your concentration should be on the verb first, whether it is in present tense or past tense or perfect tense. So, in which tense it is, and always if you divide the sentence into subject, verb and object, then it will be easy for you to change the sentence from active voice to passive voice. Okay? Let us look at the sentences now in present tense. Okay? Sentences in present tense. Buy, bought, bought. Look at the sentence. My mother bought bangles. Okay? The sentence is in past tense because the verb is in past tense. Now, therefore, what we should use? Which be form we should use here? When the sentence is in past tense and here bangles is a plural form, the object. Let us divide the sentence first into subject, verb and object. My mother is the doer. Okay. Therefore, this is subject and the work here is buying, that is bought, therefore, it is verb. What did she buy? Bangles, therefore, bangles is the object. Okay. So, here the bangles is in plural form, therefore, you should use were. Bangles were, what is the past participle form? Bought, the same as past tense. Bangles were bought by my mother. So, here the subject in active voice becomes the object in active voice becomes the subject in passive voice. Okay. And the subject here becomes by noun phrase, by my mother. Okay. Look at another sentence. Direct, directed, directed. The sentence is K. Vishwanath directed Shankarabharanam. Okay. This is in active voice. The sentence is in past tense, directed is in past tense, this is in past tense. Therefore, which be form should be used here? Was or were. It depends on the subject. If the subject in passive voice is plural, then we use were. If it is singular, we use was. Let us divide the sentence into subject, verb and object. K. Vishwanath is subject, directed is verb and Shankarabharanam is object. What is the passive form here? Shankarabharanam, it is singular, therefore, was. Shankarabharanam was directed by K. Vishwanath. The object in the active voice becomes the subject here. Okay. And K. Vishwanath by K. Vishwanath. Children, have you all understood how to change the sentences from active voice to passive voice? Okay, even in past tense. Now, you have learnt how to change the sentences from active voice to passive voice in present tense and also in past tense. But in some cases, look at this, for example, do you recognize him? Of course, Sachin Tendulkar. Okay. Sachin Tendulkar plays cricket. It is obvious and everybody knows that Sachin Tendulkar plays cricket. But when you change this sentence, this is an active voice because the sentence has started with the doer Sachin Tendulkar. Okay, the work is playing here. But when you change this into passive voice after dividing it into subject, verb and object, it becomes cricket is played by Sachin Tendulkar. Do you think cricket is only played by children? Do you think cricket is only played by Sachin Tendulkar? No, cricket is played by many other people, not only by Sachin Tendulkar. Okay. Therefore, this sentence you can't say in passive voice. There are certain sentences when the subject as a doer is very important, then you should use the sentence in active voice. But when you talk about cricket, it is not only Sachin Tendulkar that is important, but cricket is important there, when cricket becomes the subject. But when you talk about Sachin Tendulkar, then you should begin the sentence with Sachin Tendulkar as the subject. Therefore, so in these kinds of cases, you can't change the sentence from active voice to passive voice. So, there are certain sentences where you can use only passive forms. For example, passive sentences without by. When subject is not important, when the doer is not important, then we use these sentences, these kind of sentences without by. Look at this picture, all of you. Look at this picture. What do you see in this picture? This is a living room, and here at the corner you see a flower vase. Okay. Then you can say, do you know who has kept it? Who has arranged all these things in this living room? You don't know the doer. Then you can use the passive constructions like this. A flower vase is kept by, we do not know. Therefore, you need not use by noun phrase here. A flower vase is kept. Or when you say it in active voice, someone keeps flower vase. No, you can't say so. Therefore, here in these kinds of cases, then we use sentences in passive voice. Then how to frame sentences? Look here, a flower vase is kept in the corner. And another sentence you see, two sceneries are hung on the wall. You need not say by someone. Okay. Two sceneries are hung. So, there is no need of by noun phrase. So, these are in passive voice. Okay. Both the sentences are in passive voice. Now, look at this, another example. Look at this, this is zoo. Okay. So, animals are kept in zoo. Do you know the doer? You don't know the doer, and doer is not important at all here. Okay. It is understood. Therefore, you need not say use the doer or by phrase in passive voice. So, here in these kinds of cases also we use passive sentences, that is animals are kept in zoo. Okay. So, look at this. What do you see here? A beautiful scene. Okay. The world is very beautiful, we all know, and we all know who is the creator of the world. The world is created beautifully. So, when the creator is obvious, when everybody knows the doer, then you need not say the doer's name. You need not use the by noun phrase here. Therefore, the world is created beautifully. We are using passive sentences. So, we use passive sentences, children. Only see, there are certain sentences where you can use a passive voice, where the doer is not important, or when the doer is not known, or when the doer is obvious, we can use directly passive sentences. Okay. See, look at this, another example. See, when you see now how a cat is drawn easily. Children, when you talk about some demonstrations in lab, or when you want to narrate certain things, or when you want to describe or tell your friends how certain thing is done, or when recipes, when you talk about recipes like how coffee is prepared or how cake is made, then you can use passive sentences without by. Here is an example for you. Okay. Look here, all of you. How a cat is drawn easily. A big circle is drawn, then a small circle is drawn above the big circle, then two triangles are drawn above the small circle, and two small circles are drawn below the two triangles. Then moustache are drawn within the small circle, and a tail is drawn at the bottom. Okay. So, here we have used all the sentences in passive voice, and there is no doer at all. So, there is no need to mention the doer's name. Then you can use the passive constructions without a by. Okay. Now, children, we will discuss about the present continuous tense. You have understood how to convert the sentences from active voice to passive voice in present tense and past tense. Okay. And not only that, and how to use the passive constructions without a by. Now, look at the sentences in present continuous tense. What is he doing? He is watching stars through telescope. He is watching stars through telescope. Again here the sentence has begun with the doer, therefore, this is an active voice, but he is watching, ing is there, it is in continuous tense. So, when you change it into past tense, then you should begin, what is the subject here? He, verb is watching and the object is stars. So, the sentence should begin with the object stars, stars plural and this is in present tense, therefore, stars are, ing form is there. So, watched, 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 watched is the past participle form, therefore, watching becomes being watched, because ing form is there you should use being watched by him. So, through telescope. Look at the another sentence, do you recognize her? She is Steffi Graf. What is she doing? Steffi Graf is playing tennis. Can you change it into passive voice? Tennis is being played by Steffi Graf. Because it is playing, it has become being played. Okay? Watching has become being watched. In the same manner, playing has become being played. Now, look at this. This is in yesterday. Look at this sentence. I was watching TV at this time yesterday. So, the work is already over, but what I was doing I am telling at this time yesterday. I was watching. So, past continuous tense. Watching becomes being watched. So, now TV was being watched by me yesterday. So, this is in passive voice. TV is the object, therefore, we have begun the sentence with TV and this is in past tense, therefore, again this sentence is also in past. Past continuous being watched, TV was being watched by me yesterday. Okay. Look at this sentence, the magician. The magician has taken out a rabbit from his hat, isn't it? So, take, took, taken. The magician has taken out a rabbit from his hat. Excuse me. So, here when you change this, this is in perfect tense. Has is there here, has, have or had in the sentence indicate that they are in perfect tense. When it is in perfect tense, you need not use this be forms in passive constructions. Okay? So, now you look at the sentence in passive voice and let us now divide the sentence into subject, verb and object. The magician is the doer here, therefore, magician is the subject, has taken out is the verb and rabbit is the object. So, the sentence should begin with a rabbit, okay, in passive voice. A rabbit has been, look at here this sentence, been. You must use been in passive voice. Has taken becomes has been taken out. Okay? A rabbit has been taken out by magician, by the magician. A rabbit has been taken out by the magician. Okay? Now, look at this table. You have learned how the verbs in active voice converted in the passive voice. Write, if the subject is singular, becomes is written. If the subject is plural, are written in passive voice. Wrote in active voice becomes was written if the subject is singular, were written if the subject is plural. Subject in the sense subject in passive voice, that is object in active voice. Is writing, present continuous form, becomes is being written when the subject is singular, are being written if the subject is plural. Was writing, past continuous form, becomes was being written if the subject is singular and were being written if the subject is plural. Has or have written, perfect tense, becomes have been written. Had written becomes had been written, and will write, future, will, shall, could, should, all the modals. When the modal is there, will, shall, could, then they become, then in passive voice we use be form there, will be written. If there is should write, should be written, can write, can be written, shall write becomes shall be written in passive voice. Now, children, I will show you some sentences, the same sentence in different tenses, okay, and try to convert them from active voice to passive voice. Leela writes letters every week, then becomes Leela, letters are written by Leela every week. Writes is present tense, so and plural form are written. Leela wrote a letter yesterday. What is the past form, passive form of it? A letter was written by Leela yesterday. Now, look at the next sentence. Leela wrote 2 letters yesterday, past tense and plural form. What is the passive form of it? 2 letters were written, wrote becomes were written by Leela yesterday. Leela is writing a letter, is writing, present continuous. A letter, singular, what is the passive form of it? A letter is being written by Leela. Leela is writing letters. Now, the object is plural. What is the passive form of it? Letters are being written. Writing, being written. Letters are being written by Leela. Look at this sentence. Leela was writing a letter, was past tense. What is the passive form? A letter was being written by Leela. Look at this sentence. Leela was writing letters. Now, the object is plural. Letters were being written by Leela. Okay? Leela has written a letter. Has written, perfect tense. Has written becomes what? A letter has been written. In perfect tense, I said already that we use been. Has written becomes has been written. Leela has written letters. Letters have been written by Leela. Have is the, because letters is plural, so we have used have. Okay. Letters have been written by Leela. In perfect tense again, Leela had written letters. Letters had been written by Leela. Okay. Future tense. Leela will write a letter. Can you change it into passive voice? Yes. Leela will be written. Letter will be written by Leela. Letter is the object here, that becomes subject. Okay. In passive voice, letter will be written. Will write becomes will be written by Leela. By is the subject in active voice here, by Leela, by noun phrase in passive voice. So, children, have you all understood how to convert the sentences? So, the same sentence in different tenses, how to change you have learnt. Would you like to know few more examples? Okay, then look at this sentence here. What is he doing? He is treating the patient. He is treating the patient. This is an active voice. Why this is an active voice again? He, it has begun with the doer. The sentence has begun with the doer, and it is in which tense, can you say? It is in present continuous, treating. Can you convert it into passive voice? Yes, the patient is being treated by him. Look at this. Invent, invented, invented. Can you recognize him? Alexander Fleming. Alexander Fleming invented penicillin. Now, try to change it into passive voice. The sentence is in past tense. Okay. So, when it is in past tense, either was or were should be used, but you should look at the object. Subject Alexander Fleming, verb invented, and penicillin is object. So, penicillin is in singular form, therefore, penicillin was invented. Okay. Penicillin was invented by Alexander Fleming. So, the object here has become the subject here. Look at this. Shakespeare wrote The Merchant of Venice. You have in non-detail. Okay. This is in active voice. Shakespeare is subject, verb is object, and the Merchant of Venice is this object. This object here becomes subject in passive voice. Therefore, it becomes The Merchant of Venice was written by Shakespeare. Okay. My brother wrote many letters last month. Can you change it into passive voice? My brother subject, wrote object, many letters, verb. Many letters were written by my brother last month. Okay. Look at this. This is my dog. The dog ate all the biscuits. The dog ate. This is in past tense. Okay. And in active voice. Now, let us change it into passive voice, and subject is the dog, verb is ate here, and the object is all the biscuits. Then the sentence in passive voice is all the biscuits were eaten by the dog. Okay? The subject here has become object. Now, I will give you a few exercises. Children, I hope you all have understood how to change the sentences from active voice to passive voice. Shall I give you an exercise where you should change the sentence in active voice into passive voice? Okay? Look here, we make butter from milk. This is in active voice. What is the passive form of it? Have you got it? Okay, look at the answer. Butter is made from milk. Shall I give you another sentence? Somebody stole my car last week. Change it into passive voice. Have you got it? My car was stolen last week. Now, look at this sentence. My friend is building a new house. Change it into passive voice. This is in continuous, present continuous tense. Change it into passive voice. Okay? A new house. A new house is being built by my friend. A new house is being built by my friend. Look at this sentence. Mohan had finished the work. Change it into passive voice. Mohan subject had finished work, the work object. What is the passive form of it? The work had been finished by Mohan. This is in perfect tense. Therefore, we have used been here. Okay. Have you all got the correct answer? Shall I give you another sentence? Okay. People speak Telugu in Andhra Pradesh. People speak Telugu in Andhra Pradesh. Change it into passive voice. People, subject, speak, verb, Telugu, object. Have you got the answer? Look here. Telugu is spoken in Andhra Pradesh by people is not needed because it is understood, it is spoken by people only. Okay? Have you all got the answer? Look at this sentence. They have recently built several dams. They, subject, have built, verb, several dams, object. Have you done it? Okay. Look at this answer. Several dams have been built recently. By them is understood by some people. Okay. Therefore, you need not use by noun phrase here, because this is in perfect form. Again we have used been. Several dams have been built recently. Okay, children. Now, look at this. They advertised our products. Our products were advertised by them. Okay, advertised past tense, our products plural, so were advertised. Okay, our products were advertised by them. Look at this sentence. They are discussing something serious. Ing form. Change it into passive voice. Something serious is being discussed by them. Ing form, therefore being. Okay, children. Thank you. You all have, I hope you all have understood the lesson. Right. So, in class 10, in the examination question paper, you will be asked to convert the sentence from active voice to passive voice. I hope you all will do it well. Thank you, children. Thanks a lot.